How's it going, everybody? This is Maxwell McGee here at Blizzard HQ. We're checking out Starcraft II Heart of the Swarm today, the first expansion for the game. And to help me talk about it, I'm here with Johnny Ebert, senior designer on the game. Johnny, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So Johnny, can you give us sort of an overview of what we're checking out here today?
Well, Heart of the Swarm, we're going for three major things. First, amazing mission design. We feel this is the beating heart of every StarCraft campaign. It all dovetails from there. Second part is we really want to give you compelling choices to make between the missions. And we're doing that in two ways. We're making Kerrigan a key part of your army, and we're giving her multiple sets of powers you can choose from between missions. Second thing is we want to put you in charge of the Swarm's evolution, because we feel that's the major fantasy of playing the Zerg.
In the demo we just played, I got to try out the battle form.
We call them battle focus.
Can you tell us about the differences between these two?
So you have the pulse ability, where you can do light damage and stun a large part of an enemy army for a few seconds, and you also have Psionic Shadow, where she can create a psionic image of herself to draw fire away from herself when she gets into trouble. Corruption is a more Zergy kit, and we kind of modeled it after the Queen from Brood War, so she can instantly kill a unit and spawn a bunch of broodlings to create havoc in the middle of an army and to get rid of really dangerous units. And she has a goo she can throw over everything called Corrosive Spores, which increases the damage they take by 3, which combines really well with most of your units, especially Zerglings. It almost doubles their damage, but even a Hydralisk, a heavier hitter, is still a very significant upgrade. So choosing between mission, based on the mission objectives and what you think the mission is going to be about, we think that's going to be a big moment for players. When a player plays a Zerg, what do they think of first? The Zerg are adaptable. They're constantly studying their enemies and changing their form to be even more deadly. So when you go into mission, you'll come across kind of exotic creatures as bonus objectives, like the Yetis in the Protoss mission, and you kill them and you get something called mutagen, and you can use that to mutate your units. So you start with the smaller mutations. On Zergling, a couple of examples would be a speed bonus, or one called posthumous mitosis, which means when a Zergling dies, there's a chance a bunch of little broodlings will appear. And my favorite, Rapid Genesis, which just removes the train time from Zerglings. Very handy.
When the enemy's coming in on you and you just need to throw a couple of Zerglings out in front of them, that was really great.
I'm very addicted to that ability. But if you put 2 or more mutations on an individual unit, you come to what we call the evolution point. And that means you have a chance to change your Zergling or another unit into a new species. And we'll give you a choice between 2 different species, and you can only choose one. So the 2 for the Zergling, you have the Raptor, which can leap over obstacles and opponents to get to their opponents really quick for the quick surround. Or you have Swarmlings, which hatch 3 per egg for the same mineral cost. And that, again, combines very well with the Rapid Genesis upgrade we both love so much. So the fact that you can only choose one, we think, is going to be another major compelling decision that's going to cascade into future missions. So we're really excited about that.
Obviously, Kerrigan's going to play a much bigger role in this game. Let's talk about how she got from where we saw her at the end of the first game, Wings of Liberty, to where she's at now, where she's sort of trying to get the Zerg swarm back under her fold.
We did leave you on a really big cliffhanger at the end of Liberty. So she's an interesting character because she's been restored to human form, and some of the emotions that come with that have returned. So she has to do very ruthless things, but now she feels in a human way about it. She wants to kill Arcturus Mace. She has a real axe to grind. I guess she took being left to die kind of personally. The Zerg at this point have split into a bunch of little mindless factions that are led by individual queens. And no queen has the psionic capacity to unite the whole swarm. But they don't recognize Kerrigan as the Queen of Blades. Her form has changed. She doesn't have the same DNA. So Kerrigan has to show these queens that she's still the boss. And so basically she's trying to get the band back together for one last hurrah. Like on the Char mission, she's facing a rebel queen called Zagara, who again doesn't accept her as the Queen of Blades, so she has to build an army to overwhelm her and show her who's boss. And then on the second mission, she's looking for another rogue queen called Nafash. And as we know, it turns out she's actually dead, so Kerrigan has to pick up the pieces of that brood and try to add it to her own.
Now let's talk a little bit more about the support characters that are going to be helping Kerrigan. We've got like the Evolution Master, and then she has sort of an advisor type character. Can you tell us more about those?
Those are actually some of my favorite. So you have Abathur. Abathur is the Evolution Master for the Swarm. So he's the one who's constantly collecting new types of DNA and experimenting with new creature types and studying the enemy. Another character that's really fascinating is Isha. She's an infested adjutant, but this is from back when adjutants were cyborgs rather than synthetic like they were in Liberty. And what Kerrigan used her for, since she has a lot of intelligence and processing power, Kerrigan had a lot on her plate. So if she had an idea like, hey, I need to poison this planet's water supply to turn them all into infested zombies, I don't have time to work out the details. Why don't you give me a high-level plan by next Tuesday? So that's kind of her role. So she's Kerrigan's main advisor and kind of like someone she can just bounce ideas.
Her right-hand servant.
Yes, one of them, yeah.
Are we going to get to see some special Zerg units in the campaign that maybe aren't going to make it onto the multiplayer scene?
Well,
Lurkers, perhaps?
I don't want to give anything away. But what I can say is you will see Zerg creatures that have never been seen before in Heart of the Swarm. And a lot of us are big fans of some of the past units, so there's a chance some of them might make an appearance, but I can't promise anything at this point.
The Protoss micro campaign within a campaign. Is that something else we might see returning in Heart of the Swarm?
Well, we had a lot of really cool story mechanics and hooks in Liberty, and some of them may make an appearance in Swarm. That's about all I can say. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. I'll leave it at that. So finally, can you just remind the kids at home when Heart of the Swarm is coming out and what it's coming out for?
When it's finished.
All right. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us.
Thank you so much.
So there you have it, folks. A look at Heart of the Swarm.